The official launch for Black Ops 6 is less than a month away from us, and some players are wondering how the game is going to play out when it's fully released to the public. After all, we got to play an early beta back in late August, and there were a lot of mixed opinions on Black Ops 6, especially when it comes down to competitive and ranked play. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some of the changes Treyarch recently published for the Call of Duty community regarding Black Ops 6 and how I think Black Ops 6 is going to change the ranked/competitive scene for future COD titles. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Really quick, I just want to say thank you to you, the viewer, for clicking on today's video. It would be greatly appreciated if you could drop a like on today's video. And if you were able to play the Black Ops 6 beta, I would really appreciate you guys leaving a comment down below of what you liked, what you disliked, and what you would like changed before the game fully launches. That way, if we have anyone new to the channel that's looking for perspectives and opinions on Black Ops 6, they can scroll through the comment section down below and see what you all have to say about the game. Because your guys' opinions are just as valuable as my opinion. The reason I'm making today's video is because on September 24th, Treyarch released a huge blog post about the road to launch for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer. The overview of this blog post is to show us what to expect and what is in store for us when we get the game and launch into multiplayer, including changes to maps, spawns, performance, weapons, movement, and a bunch more stuff. If you want to read this blog post on your own, I'll have a link in the description for you guys. And if you don't know, I'm a Call of Duty content creator who's more focused on the ranked/competitive play for multiplayer and Warzone. I have a bunch of videos going over how I reached iridescent in Warzone ranked play, giving tips and tricks to those who would like to climb the ranks. And with Black Ops 6 multiplayer, I will absolutely be playing both Warzone and multiplayer ranked play, giving you guys the best tips and tricks so you guys can climb the ranks when the new Call of Duty drops. So let's go over some of the new changes that Treyarch has introduced to us before the game fully launches. So it seems like the bread and butter of this blog post, and coming from Treyarch themselves, is the amount of brand new maps being introduced into multiplayer. Ranging from 6v6 maps to 2v2 strike maps, we're going to be seeing a lot of new terrain, environments, and really cool additions to the multiplayer landscape that I think will be amazing for ranked play itself. Now, obviously, we won't know how these maps play out until we fully launch into the game, but it's amazing that we're seeing a wide variety of brand new maps being introduced for Black Ops 6, allowing a lot of diversity and opportunity when it comes to ranked play. If you weren't able to watch my last Black Ops 6 video, basically the overview of what I thought about the game, in the beta, there was a certain map, and I can't think of it at the top of my head, but there was a map where you could actually activate and deactivate security areas on the map to change how it flows. I'm hoping we can see more additions of that mechanic within the future maps, because that will definitely help us within ranked play and being strategic with our own environment rather just relying off of our own gunplay and positioning. And on the screen, I'm showing you guys a quote from Treyarch. We're excited about the map variety we've got this year, and we always take competitive play into consideration for multiplayer. We're looking forward to unveiling our map selections for CDL and ranked play, which is arriving Season 1 of Black Ops 6. So when it comes to map selection, we're going to have a ton of stuff to look forward to, especially, like I mentioned before, being able to modify the maps for competitive play. In the blog itself, they also mentioned the improvement of spawn points for maps on Black Ops 6. When I played the beta, there was so many instances of terrible spawn points where you could literally sit in a corner of the map and have the entire team spawn on you nonstop, regardless where your other teammates were positioning-wise. It really made for unfair play, and I'm glad that they're addressing this issue because it definitely is going to have a huge issue if it wasn't fixed for ranked play. I don't know if you all remember from Modern Warfare 2, the Fortress map on Control, there was only one section of the map one team could spawn on, and there was only a certain amount of areas they could go through to get to the points. And it made for a lot of unfair advantages to the point where Call of Duty had to remove the map and the game mode from ranked play. So seeing a balance within the spawn points, I have no idea how it's going to look until the full game is released, but hopefully they've addressed it to the point where it won't have an issue with integrity when it comes to ranked and competitive play. Another big area in the blog post was in regards to the performance. I myself struggled to get decent frames per second while playing the beta on my PC, and I know a lot of other users did as well. And it looks like they were able to identify and resolve some of the issues related around performance. So I'm hoping that we can see positive changes across all different platforms when it comes to how the game runs and how fluid it is, and avoiding that hitching or those little bursts that you would just randomly get that weren't network related or even server related. because obviously the performance you can get from the game will obviously have a play in how you perform when it comes to ranked and competitive play. So we're all going to have to see what kind of changes they introduce. But it's nice that they're addressing the performance issues after the beta concluded. The next two areas of this blog post have to address weapons and movement, which I believe are going to have the largest impact to ranked and competitive play. The first thing I want to cover, which I did experience myself, was the lack of headshot damage when you landed headshots. In the beta, it didn't seem like when you hit headshots, it would really mess with the TTK. It almost felt like it was the same TTK, which I don't believe is ethical. I feel like if you're accurate enough and talented enough to land multiple headshots consistently, it should reward the players with a faster TTK and winning most of their 1v1s. Luckily for us, Treyarch was able to address this, and they're going to be monitoring the effectiveness of these changes going forward. But it seems like they're going to be increasing the headshot damage multiplier, which pretty much means to us to, well, aim higher. So note to self, shooting in the chest is not going to have the same TTK as shooting in the head. On top of that, they're making some changes regarding general weapon feel and tuning, including improved fluidity when swapping weapons during sprint and tactical sprint. Apparently, Treyarch is excited about this, and it kind of sounds like we're going to be able to swap weapons more fluidly, faster, not having to deal with any, like, juggling of weapons trying to switch to our secondary if we run out of ammo in our, assault rifle or whatever. They're also addressing the SMG heavy meta that was apparent within the Black Ops 6 beta. If you didn't know, there was one gun that everyone was using because it was extremely overpowered for close and long-range engagement, and that was the Jackal PDW. According to this blog post, there's going to be a small lift to shotguns and targeted adjustments across all weapons to keep SMGs from overperforming relative to other classes. And that one kind of just makes sense. An assault rifle should be able to outshoot the SMG at range, but if you're close enough, an SMG should be performing better than an assault rifle. An SMG does not in any way need to be performing better than all weapons close range to long range. So I'm glad we're going to be hopefully seeing some good weapon balancing, but we'll be able to see that when we hop into the game fully. The next area that I want to talk about is the movement changes that they're adding. Now, this is a hit or miss area, especially when it comes to the beta. Some people love the movement and some people hated the movement. I myself was a big fan of the Omni movement introduced in Black Ops 6. And it looks like Treyarch is obviously not backing down from Omni movement. It's definitely here to stay. And if you really did not enjoy it, I'm sorry to say, Omni movement is just going to be the way people are going to be moving. Some of the improvements are to the animation fluidity and the fidelity, adjustments to slide for improved predictability and fluidity. And they're also making some adjustments to the intelligent movement. I'll let you guys kind of read through all the separate posts that are listed here. It's a good, mouthful. One of the coolest changes I see on this screen, though, is reduce the minimum time slide after sprinting to prevent accidentally crouching when intending to slide, also known as a dead slide. Even in the current state of Call of Duty, I experience dead sliding so often, Modern Warfare 3, Warzone. And I did experience it somewhat with Black Ops 6, so I'm glad that we're going to try and reduce the amount of dead slides for the player base itself. And if you didn't know already, Omni Movement is a brand new movement system for Call of Duty, and if you haven't been able to play the beta, it might be one of the first things you want to try and get used to because of how important it is for gunplay itself. It's going to be extremely entertaining to see the amount of Omni Movement plays we're going to be seeing in ranked and competitive play. And I'm beyond excited to keep on learning it. And the rest of the blog post kind of goes on about, other little things. One mentions camera motion. They're reducing the overall camera motion on sprint, tag, sprint, and slide, which is really nice. And some additional stuff to equipment, perks, the RCXD. So like I said, if you would like to read more about the blog, the link will be in the description below. What I've mentioned so far are pretty much the largest points mentioned within the Treyarch blog post itself, but I did want to address why I think these changes are going to benefit the competitive and ranked scene moving forward for Call of Duty. In the current state of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, there are a couple issues that have been addressed and are going to be addressed when it comes to Black Ops 6 and the launch of ranked play from Season 1. The first one is the skill gap. With this new movement system and a lot of the different changes within the game itself for Black Ops 6, I think we're going to actually be able to see the difference between a casual player, a competitive player, and a professional player. Benefiting from the movement system and benefiting from landing headshots, for example, are definitely going to be able to differentiate players when it comes to the skill gap itself. I've noticed myself, when you start to get to Diamond and Eve all the way up to Iridescent, most of the players in this category have very similar playstyles, and all of them can achieve the top rank no matter what. It just comes down to if you have a team to play with and if you have the time to play. Also, if you are looking for teammates, I do have a Discord server of over 3,500 players, and a lot of them are ranked oriented, and a lot of them also just play casually. So if you would like to join the Discord to find some teammates to play with, The link is on the screen and in the description of today's video. But not only are we going to be able to see a higher skill gap being achieved from all different players across all different platforms, we're also going to see a return of more mouse and keyboard players to this scene. As it stands, controller does reign in the top rankings of Warzone and multiplayer, and it's just analytics will show this by far. The top players are mainly on controller. And no, I'm not going to start complaining about aim assist. That's not why I'm here. Aim assist definitely needs to be in the game, but Treyarch has adjusted it to where aim assist will be nerfed up close, so we don't see ridiculous inhuman 180s from rotational aim assist in those close range fights where mouse and keyboard players do struggle a lot with, including myself. And I know a lot of players are going to see this as a bad thing, saying that mouse and keyboard is going to be overpowered, but I don't think that's going to be the case at all. We're finally going to be able to see different skill gaps across different inputs across different platforms. And I'm going to show an example on the screen. One of the best mouse and keyboard players currently on Warzone is named Metaphor. And within the Black Ops 6 beta, he went against some of the best controller players in the game and was able to outfrag, outperform most of these players. It wasn't too far off. As you can see on the screen, Metaphor was pretty much neck and neck with Scump. However, we have never seen these kind of statistics from a mouse and keyboard player within Call of Duty, and it's come to light. And that has to do with the skill gap they're bringing in with the movement system, how accurate you are with your shots, and balancing the inputs across platforms. I think this is an amazing step into the future for Call of Duty, and it's going to bring the player base back and vibrant across all different input types, because I couldn't tell you how many mouse and keyboard players are leaving the COD scene given the overarching controller meta. So if you're on mouse and keyboard, we're going to be grinding together. And if you're not on mouse and keyboard, don't be upset, don't be discouraged, because controller will obviously still be very viable, as you can see on the screen here. And I'm just mentioning this because we've never seen mouse and keyboard players keeping up with some of the best controller players. Now, with everything I've talked about today, there really isn't any other news regarding Black Ops 6, as this was the newest blog post from Treyarch. I will be keeping my eyes out for more news coming from Treyarch, as I expect them to release more as we come closer to the official launch of Black Ops 6. And I will definitely be reporting anything related to ranked, competitive, Warzone, and other game modes regarding Black Ops 6, including zombies and potentially the campaign. However, I am celebrating my wedding and my honeymoon for the next couple of weeks when this video is live, so don't expect any videos between now and, well, pretty much until the launch of Black Ops 6. I will try to stay as active as possible within my Discord and on my Twitter. You guys can go follow me and join the Discord. All those links will be in the description. But with that all being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like and comment down below and subscribe if you are new. And I will see you guys when Black Ops 6 is officially launched.
Wake up to reality. Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, know I got stacks in the lab, taking bitches straight for another cat.